liberty, and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, the first item on our agenda is the public hearing of the application for 10 Winchester Drive by Abraham Samet, the applicant. Applicant owns the subject property, approximately 22,154 square feet, located 10 Winchester Drive in the SR 20 district. The applicant applied to the building inspector. It's not public hearing notice. This was the old one. Okay. All right, let me read this again. The application of Abraham Samet for an area variance from the FAR law, section 200-241B, to permit construction of a rear addition, which will exceed the maximum floor area ratio of 2,991 square feet, total of 4,466 square feet proposed. The property is the SR 20 zoning district, section 227, block 3, lot 6 on the tax map, and is known as 10 Winchester Drive. The applicant or their representative present.
Yes.
Good evening. How are you? Come forward, state your name.
Hi, thank you for my name is Abraham Samet. Thank you for making this happening. I waited a long time. Thank you so much, and thank you for pushing it in for this month, not pushing us over for the next month.
Just before you begin, I just want to point out to you,
okay.
We only have 4 members present.
Okay.
Normally, we're a 5-man board.
Okay.
You need a majority vote to have your application passed. So
okay.
You need a 3-2 vote.
So?
Since we only have an even number, if you were to get a 2-2 vote,
okay.
Your application would be deemed denied by law. So we always give applicants an opportunity to adjourn their application to another night when we'll have they have a full board. So I will leave that to you, whether you want to proceed with 4 members tonight or adjourn to a night when you have 5.
Since we're here already, so let's do this.
Very good.
And hopefully, but I'll explain it to you. So, like I said, my name is Abraham Samet. I live in 10 Winchester Drive. I moved here, bought a house in 2019. And I intended at the time when, according to the square footage that I had in the property, it was 2,000 square foot, like it's stated in the county's website at the time. So I was intending to, the reason I bought, I was intending to extend it. So at the time it was COVID came in, I couldn't do anything, and it was not so important. So I didn't do anything at the time. So right now it got more important to me since I have my father-in-law and mother-in-law live by me. She has dementia, and she has a full-time aide, and she lives by me. She had now a knee surgery. She really needs help. She needs space, and she needs to move. She be able to move around, and it came important for me to do this. So where I live, I brought. If you want to pass around this one. This is only 4 members. You can see here where I live. It's in the rear of the house, which is literally nobody can see what's happening from the front. It's a thing that it's not. It's in the back. In the rear of the house, there is no problem. It's only the church over there. There's no houses in the back, and I marked over there many houses that have even a graded amount of square footage that I have. That was built before. So, which I marked over there, the all is non-conformant houses that you can see over there. So when I moved in there, the law was okay with me to build what I needed to do. So the law passed as I was there already, and now I really needed it, and I'm stuck with that. You know, the law doesn't allow me to do that. So I would ask you to give me a variance, since the whole variance is only less than 33% that I'm asking. It's less than 33%, as you can state in the application that I gave in. It's less than 33% more than the fair law allows. So there is many more houses which I couldn't give in the picture that I gave in. There is many more houses that are non-conformant. There is probably 5 or 6 more houses. They're all non-conformant, and they're much bigger than than I want to do, and it's not gonna affect any environmental issues. It's not gonna affect the neighborhood. It's not gonna affect the character of the street. Everything is gonna be nothing. It's seen from the front. It's a thing that is totally private, and I would really ask the board to grant me that variance, since it doesn't bother anybody. I have testimony from some neighbors over here. They came over they're gonna give testimony that they don't have a problem with me doing this. So I would really ask you, guys to, if you can, in a sense, it's also, I want to bring out this point. It's not that I didn't do anything wrong. It's a thing that happened after I lived already there. So I would really ask you, please, to grant me that variance. I should be able to do what I needed to do for my family. Like I think I said, I have a special need child as well, and I have a big family. I'm second marriage. My wife is here, and she has family. I have family. It's a combined family that we always come over. We always needed space, and we always needed it. What was our problem? Sometimes they needed to go over to neighbors to find some space, and the holidays. So please, if you can grant me this variance, it would really greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Salmon. Wait, Mr. Salmon, stay up here. We have some questions for you.
Okay, sure.
Can you just, I just want to see, this house, this is your house? Yes. That's yours. Now, it looks like there's something on the back of it already. It's an awning?
An awning can cover the porch, yes.
And basically the addition is going to go where that awning is?
The awning comes down, the porch comes down, so it's going to be added to the house.
You have a deck on the back, right, Mr. Salmon?
I do have
A deck, and the awning is over the deck, is
The
it?
awning is on top of the deck, yes.
Right.
This is a deck.
And that's going to be eliminated with the addition?
Yes, it's going to be.
That's what I wanted to find out.
Yes. So I'm here to answer any questions you wanted.
Well, Mr. Salmon, I read the document that you sent in with the narrative. Isn't that what it's called? Yeah. And I saw that 33% that you mentioned there, and I couldn't quite figure out how you did that math. So can you explain to me, how did you get to 33%?
Sure. Leap, if you can help me out with that. I understand that 2991 is the allowed. So what I'm asking
For
is
your property,
for
right.
my property. So
Yeah.
currently I have, according to the new law, I have 2600
Well, that's what your
with the garage. That's why I was denied. With
what
the
your
garage.
house is now.
So what I currently have, so I want to add 1800. So from that 2600, I can still add. I can legally still add. I can still 360 square feet. What I'm asking is approximately 1400 square feet, and that calculation, 1400 square feet, comes at approximately 33%. What I figured out, if I made the math correctly.
33% of what, Mr. Salmon?
Yeah, it looks like it's 50%.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at this a number of different
Okay.
ways, of course, but it looks to me like the law allows you roughly 3,000 square feet, 2991, but let's call it 3,000. And your proposed total is just short of 4,500 square feet.
Yes.
Right. So, you want to have a house that is, roughly 50% bigger.
What the variance would be is from 3,000 and above. So that is 1,400. So you say it's approximately. Maybe that's correct. Maybe that's correct.
So about 50% bigger than the current
33%.
law would allow. Okay. I just wanted to see if you could, describe it for me in such a way that I could understand the math the way you look at
we're
it.
on one page.
Okay.
Maybe we did a different calculation, but that's probably the right way to describe it.
Yeah, I thought that was the straightforward way to look
Yes.
at it. Okay. That's that then. And then I had this I noticed on this plan that you
Okay.
sent that we have the the floor plan for your house, right, is the first sheet, and then I go and look at the elevation, and it looks like the major designer of Highland Mills has sent you the Itzkowitz family's elevation.
Yes.
It does say that on the side here, but in looking at what I see on the diagram here, it looks like maybe it is the elevation for your house. It's just a mistake on the
It's
on the
probably
elevation.
that.
You want to have a look and see if you can tell?
With me as well. It's
Yeah.
definitely mine. I mean,
Yeah, it looks like it's probably a drafting error. He didn't change the
it's-
labeling on the second sheet.
it's probably, I have it with me over here.
I've got it right here. If you want to just have a peek at mine and just tell us this is for your proposal, right?
This is the addition.
And this is just a simple typo, we might say.
Yeah, it's a total mistake.
Okay.
It's a total mistake. I mean, this is what.
But we are looking at the right
Yes, of
plans
course. I
here.
have it,
Okay.
I have it here as well. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it probably matched up, but I wanted to be sure.
I have it, yes, this is the right.
Okay.
This is what I did, yes, of course. I don't know what that is. It's probably added on the computer.
Who knows? It's just let's just call it a typo, basically.
Yeah. This
As long
is
as
what it
this
exactly
is,
what it is, yes,
yeah.
this is what it is.
okay.
Of course.
So, Mr. Sam, one of the other questions I have is,
Right, over here, you can see that, 1 second. This is the interior. from
Yep.
the-
Yeah, that's what was odd because, well, that gave,
it's just that he didn't change the elevation
Yeah.
page. He just didn't relabel it.
yeah.
Okay.
So I just have on this maps that you gave us, I guess you have numbers and then you have an
Yes.
NC. I guess you mean that's a
Non-conformance, yes.
Do you know what the FAR is on those lots?
I don't know that, I'm not gonna be able to know it off my head, but I checked it in the computer when I typed this in. I don't remember exactly the numbers, but what I calculated, it's very hard for me to remember the exactly numbers from each house, but when I calculated the numbers, it came out that it's non-conformant. But it's impossible for me to remember exactly the numbers. But according to the size of the property they have, and according to the size of the house they have, it looks like it's non-conformant. I mean, you can also probably see the same thing. So
I mean, it would be nice to know what they are. You know, what the square footage of those houses are as compared to what the square footage of your house would be.
I remember that when
their FARs compared to your FAR.
yeah, when actually I do have it. Oh, sorry. Actually, I printed it out. Okay, let me see. I don't know if. Okay, I do have it. 1 second, I'll give it to you. Just there. 9 inches there. You're gonna allow me just a minute, I'll have it for you. Because I printed, I remember now I printed, I'm so
You can use the
confused.
table if
You want to use the table over there?
Yes.
That'll make it easier.
Can you bring up that farm wall?
It's the zoning code section.
You need the far wall?
Is
think this is it.
24.1.
4.1B. Is this it?
Yep. I think that's the original, and this is the amendments that they passed in 2013.
So as the square footage of your lot gets bigger, the FAR goes down.
Yes.
I see it. What's the schedule, right? Yeah. So if you have a bigger lot, you're penalized, you can't build as big a house.
They start to adjust the numbers as it goes up.
I've never seen a FAR law like this.
That's very odd.
Well, I mean.
I don't get that.
Your maximum size gets bigger, but not in proportion to the size of the growth of the lot.
Yeah.
That's true.
Do you mind if I just peer over?
Yeah.
That's such a weird thing. I would never have
Yeah, I
thought
mean,
that.
usually, single family, I know they're usually around 20% of the R.
Is that right?
They might have done that because they want to keep a rural type atmosphere where you have more space instead of having a gigantic
guess that's a
home
good
or
point.
structure that takes up the entire lot.
Penalize the
one
guy
that
that
you
has
want
the
me to
bigger
look
lot?
up, or-
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I was
It's, you
gonna
know,
try and figure
but
out
I'm
if you
just
have a
saying
lot
that might be
area
the
or-
mindset.
What I know
Right.
about this is this is what took them forever to figure out, and I do kind of wonder what was the process. So, in your experience, there's kind of a flat rate.
There's
Or
usually, it's, yeah,
one rate?
it's usually at the bulk table, and it says, this is the FAR,
This number,
this number.
and that's it for everybody.
It's for everybody in the zone.
And maybe they did just want to avoid really big houses, even if they were on really big lots.
And standard is about 0.2.
So 0.2 relative to this home would put square footage at what level?
So this one
He's
would
at
have a
0.2.
FAR
Yeah.
of
0.02.
0.13.
Right, so he's right at,
He's
there.
right at the standard FAR level.
So it doesn't really come into play for him.
Well, no, it does to him because he's only got 24,000 square feet. His FAR is only 0.135.
You're allowed 3120 and they have 3416.
Where
So that,
when you get up to go down to 12,000 square feet,
so that one's
your 0.2.
296 square feet
so
without the
if you
garage.
had a lot
Okay, for some reason,
1,000 square feet less,
okay,
build a bigger.
this thing. He's allowed 31 square foot in approximately 31.
What are we looking at?
At 15, this was,
So this is 15 Winchester.
Neighbor across the
That's your
street.
neighbor across the street. And you're looking at the ImageMate online that you printed out from the Orange County website. And this says the house has a living area of 3416 square feet.
and this is approximately 250 square foot. And this is not included the garage.
And how big is the lot?
So the lot is approximately 23,250 square feet, which under your code gives it the FAR of 0.13, and the maximum gross floor area for that range is 3120. So without the garage included, it's
Already over.
over by 296 square feet. And I don't know how big
How
the
did you know the
garage.
square foot of the lot, Kelly?
I multiplied the frontage the way that it's online. It's 153 times.
Oh, here's the lot size. 20,145 square feet.
Oh, okay.
So he's 20,145 square feet.
Yep.
He can have FAR 0.145. And he can build a 3,045 square foot. And he's at 34.
And this
So
is not,
he's 400 square feet over.
That's probably without the garage. You gotta add the
Yeah,
garage.
right.
yeah.
Is that a mixed-use property? Is that the chiropractor's?
yes.
Yeah, it's a mixed-use property. He has a
4,000.
chiropractic, excuse me, he has a chiropractic practice on the bottom floor.
Right, and he has a big,
That's a home occupation.
right, and he's got that big parking lot.
Yeah.
Got a parking lot there.
So, all right, so looking at that one, look at the 15 Winchester. It's 20,145 square feet. He has 3416 plus 624. So that would make it 0, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4,040 square feet. And I don't have a calculator, but his FAR would be,
You can use my phone if you want.
his FAR would be 0.145. And maximum floor area 3045.
Just for the sake of apples to apples and oranges to oranges, Mr. Shamit, on this form here, is this the blue house, 26? Which one is the blue house on Winchester? 26? Can we do that same mathematical calculation for 26?
Yeah.
Because that is a true total residential home.
Do you have one of these for 26?
That family, that prior family that lived there had 8 people in it. So they did do a massive construction. They were sued by a neighbor and they had to adjust the plan because they encroached on the property lines.
Well, actually, there was no law.
Oh, they didn't go through with it?
They went to the ZBA and they weren't gonna get the variance.
Okay.
They wanted to go closer. So
Right.
they
Okay,
adjusted.
so, yeah, so this is really small.
Oh, okay, because the rumor was they got sued.
Total acreage.
The Pascarellas?
And then if I
Yeah.
go to,
That we've since relocated?
and that's how big. 3192. So for 26, the total living area is 3192.
That includes the garage?
No, it says,
Doesn't have the garage?
it only has the first story.
Oh, I thought this one did.
No, this one does, I guess.
Oh, on that one it
does.
doesn't.
This one doesn't
Okay.
even list the garage.
Does it list the square footage of the lot?
So if you multiply the square footage of the lot, that is, hold on, 100 times 203.
No, but on the bottom of this one, it has the actual square footage. On the first page, on the bottom, it says land types.
Yeah, scroll to the bottom and it'll scroll.
Oh, okay. 20,113.
113.
I was gonna do the math, you know, show off my multiplication skills.
20,113 would also allow 145 FAR. And if we take 20,113 times 0.145, we get 2,916 square foot home.
And they have whatever it is. Well, yeah, the house is currently 3192 without the garage. Yeah, without the garage. It's 3192. So whatever the garage is addition to that.
Just two garage, probably another 600 square foot.
About,
Yes.
yeah.
I know mine is 600.
Mine too.
Yes.
Okay, so even if we take 3192 and we add 600 square feet,
3,800.
right, 3792, so let's say 3,800. Oh, that doesn't matter, okay. So he's about 200 square feet smaller than yours. And the house at 15 Winchester is about the same size as yours? What are you total? 4466. Yeah. It's about 400 square feet smaller than yours. This one's about 600 square feet. Your 4466 includes your garages?
Yes.
All right, let's do another one.
I'm ready.
One more. When you want to look at 26 or 7?
I mean, a closer comp would be 38 probably.
38?
Winchester?
38 Winchester would be a closer comp, because if you're gonna go Cunningham, it's smaller there.
So that one is, size is 21,047. And they have a total living area of 2882. But it doesn't include the garage.
All of them includes the garage. This is a no thing that includes the garage.
Well, this one did. The first one you gave us did have the garage. It's on the structure, look,
It says, it doesn't say.
did you look in the structure above the area? There's another box there, and the bottom one shows an attached.
It says attached garage cap 0 square feet.
Okay, so this, okay. So let's do the same 600. So we're talking about 3482, 3,500 square feet. And their FAR, 21, would be 0.140, which will allow a maximum of 38. So he's 400 over. 26 Winchester is about 900 square feet over. 15 Winchester is about 1,000 square feet over. I'm surprised, less. I'm surprised 38 Winchester isn't a bigger lot. Looks like a bigger lot, but I guess you got a lot of the.
It's an odd shaped lot. It's weird. Has the construction started on this project?
Not yet. No, that's
Not
a little
totally.
bit.
You just started digging,
Digging a little bit. No, that's it. Yes.
a little with getting an approval.
Yes. Trying to get approval. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Santa, here you can take this back. Thank you very much.
Okay. You want some more?
Not unless the board wants any more. Other than that, he's fully compliant on all his other bulk requirements.
No, on the minimum lot width, it's an existing nonconformity. It requires 100 feet. He has 95.
Yeah, I mean, other than the existing conditions.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
he's not creating any new
He's not creating
non-conformities.
anymore, no.
Okay. Let me just confirm. Okay, this is probably part of yours
Yeah.
too. Sorry. I want to be accused of
Making off
misappropriating
with
your
my law.
paperwork, you know?
So Paul, just to be clear, the largest home overage is 1,000 square feet that you calculated?
Yeah, at 15
15,
Winchester,
Okay. Is 1,000 over? And the other
they're allowed to
guys,
have 3,045 square feet max, and based upon the documents, they have 4,040 square feet.
okay.
Yeah, you can pass that back. And for 26 Winchester, they're supposed to have 2,916 square foot max, they've got 3,800. And at 38, they're supposed to have 3,080 max, and they're at about 3,500, so round numbers we're talking.
Yeah.
So you're about 400 square feet more than, the biggest one of the three we looked at.
Well, almost 500. I mean, if you're at 1,000 for the biggest one, he's at 1,475.
Yeah. What was your lot again? 22. Let's get a bigger lot. 22,000.
22,154.
And your maximum FAR is 0.135?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I saw something. Jimmy, was that in your letter? No, the, what is FAR works out to. Maybe it was in Kelly's memo.
I did, it worked out to 0.202.
0.202. 0.202 FAR. So 0.202, what is the equivalent to? Just look on that chart.
Yeah.
Is it, it's
Right
between
here.
11,000,
12 to 1299.
yeah.
That would only mean a 2,400 square foot house. Okay. All right, anybody else have any further questions for Mr. Samet?
What did you just mean when you said 12 to 1299? I'm sorry.
Well, if you have a lot that's 12,000 square feet to
see.
13,000
I see,
square feet,
okay.
you're allowed to have an FAR for 0.2.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Right, so that would mean if you're 12,000, you can have built 2,400 square foot house. So the smaller your lot goes, the bigger the house you're allowed to put on. The bigger your lot goes, the smaller the house you're allowed to put on it.
Proportionally.
Proportionally.
Yeah.
Yes, proportionally. I don't mean actual square footage.
Hey, can I just ask a question? Is there any reason why you can't make the addition smaller?
Like I said, I explained my situation with my mother-in-law and father-in-law living at my house right now, and they are in need of space. And I have a special needs child also, and I have my children. They're all married out. They come to with their families to my house. But I mean, this is the calculation that I made that I need. But if it's gonna satisfy the board, and you know, they want me to compromise something, I'm willing to listen to what you guys have to say. So I'm open. You know what I mean? I'm not stubborn on anything. It's just a thing that.
I wonder, Mr. Samet, if you could tell us about a little bit more about how you intend to use the additional space, because when I look at the plan that you gave us, what we see here is a family room on the lower level and a sitting area on the upper level. And I'm guessing that doesn't tell us the whole story of what you intend to do with the overall property. Maybe you're reconfiguring. This is my guess. Okay, maybe tell us a little bit about how you're going to reconfigure the property.
Basically, the main thing that I needed, the bottom level is that I needed for family use for holidays like Passover. I have all my kids come over to me. Each of them have kids. I'm a grandfather. My wife has a couple kids that they come except separately. They come over. And the holidays, we crambled in and the dining room that we currently have, and it's very uncomfortable. So I would like to have something that we can sit and have Purim parties, holiday Passover parties, Hanukkah parties. It's sometimes in the Saturdays. It's a nice Saturday when it's a occasion they want to come over. I need that space. That's definitely the bottom level. The upper level, that it's still in configuration. I would like to have, according to my, I didn't put it in the plans yet, but this is, of course, when I'm going to be about to do it, I'm going to give it in for planning and everything for approvals. But I would like to make a little bit my kitchen bigger. I would like to do this, you know what I mean? Because for the extended family, we need to have the kitchens that is built. It's really small in this. I just draw up this one. The property, I should get approval for the structure, but I didn't put in all the details exactly yet. But of course, before we're going to do anything, we're going to go for approvals.
Right. So, in essence, your home is the center of the activities of the extended family, and you need space for gatherings of the family on these special occasions. And You need to be able to
That's correct.
feed these people, and
That's
so
correct.
you're thinking of a bigger
and
kitchen.
That's correct. And
Yeah.
to add more that this is my father-in-law and my father-in-law and mother-in-law in my house.
Yeah,
She has kids that lives here. They come over all the time to see what mom is doing and stuff like that.
right,
And we need the space. It's basically
Right.
what we need. We really need the space.
right. So in other words, it's not just special occasions. It's just
Daily,
regular
Of course,
activity.
I didn't. I jumped into this project because I have the family, my father-in-law and mother-in-law here. Now it gets more important than ever to do this. I
Right.
would push it over and stuff,
Right.
But right
okay.
now it's really important for me.
All right. I think that helps. That gives us that gives me
Yes.
anyway a better idea of how the additional space is going to be of help to you.
Now, I noticed behind your house, it's all woods. Is that
That's correct.
conservation area, wetlands?
The church, property of the
Yeah,
church
no,
in
but
the
there's
back.
a lot of trees between.
Yeah,
And it goes back between, I guess, what is that, Timber Hill, Timber Ridge?
In the back of my property is just woods. And
Sacred Heart's land goes quite a ways back.
yeah, I can show you.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, all this in here.
This is this is my
This is all Sacred Heart's land, do you know?
Yes, this is the
No, I'm talking about all these trees in here.
streets is in Sacred Heart.
The Sacred Heart.
Property, their property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? Anything else you want to add, Mr. Samet? No. Okay, all right. Then we're gonna open it up to the public, so have a seat. We'll invite members of the public that wish to speak. So if any members of the public want to comment with regard to this application, please come forward, state your name, and address your comments to the board. Hi, good evening.
Hi, Denise Lasky. I live at 17 Winchester. So my original questions have all been answered. I had concerns, and my sons who don't live here, but they also voiced concerns about why the house was going to be extended to the point that it is, because there have been other homes in the neighborhood that have been created into other than residential. But now it's going to be residential, so I'm really not concerned anymore. I think it would be fine. It's not going to really impact on what the street looks like. The family takes excellent care of their home. They fit right into the neighborhood, so I have no other concerns.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. I'm Devorah Spielman. I live in 26 Winchester.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Devorah Spielman.
Divorce.
Just as a by the way, you're probably not aware that today's a holiday for us. We've been fasting. All of us have been fasting for over 24 hours now. Fast finishes approximately 25 minutes from now, but we haven't eaten or drank anything from last night. So anyone who's here, just trust me, it's important for each of us.
Everybody's
I actually
doing
did not
great.
plan to speak, so I did not prepare anything, but I just want to tell you that after hearing Mr. Samet speaking, he kind of downplayed his situation quite a bit, and he's probably not a person that's going to toot his own horn, but I think I'm going to toot it for him, because number one, I have yet to see a father that took an individual with special needs, like I call it, with different abilities. This girl in regular, mainstream or not so mainstream would probably be institutionalized by now, but this girl is married. She has a quality of life because Mr. Samet has given so much as a father to turn her into that responsible adult. She lives on her own with her husband, but with that came that Mr. Samet not only married her off, but he adopted a son-in-law that has special needs. So they come for every holiday. While they sleep at home, every night, he sends them food. He takes care of them all the time, although they live separately. For holidays, they are there every time, and they're not always the easiest, because I've watched them with so much patience, both of them, the way they speak to them, the way they treat them. The fact is that Denise did not even know that they had special needs, and she lives right across the street, shows something, because they they talk to them like anyone else, and from the outside, it would probably be hard to tell that this couple has special needs. So this is, credit goes to the father and to the mother, stepmother, that actually, not stepmother, I don't like that connotation of it, but you get what I mean. That in addition to that, that's with a, you know, with a married child with special needs. In addition to that, the way I have been volunteering my time, I mean, when I have it, to go visit their mother-in-law and who has dementia. To put it mildly, she has, I mean, it's a pretty sad case to watch. She is such an active woman that she constantly just wants to walk. She wants to go, and she needs that space to be able to walk, because quite frankly, in her condition, it's hard to, she can't go out alone, and it's hard to run after her, but she is just, even after her knee replacement surgery, and my mom had knee replacement surgery, she's been running because she forgets, you know, she tends to forget what's going on with her, and she's, like, we sit and then she's like going, I'm like, where are you going? You know, let's play something, let's play around me, let's do that. But she is just, she's used to living in bigger spaces, I guess, and it's just her and her husband that are used to, and now she's living with a baby around and everything. She needs that space to make her feel safe and to have the breathing space. So I mean, just, I go to her and I try to be there, but they're there with them 24/7, so credit goes to them. And I really, really would just, as a neighbor that has been watching and trying to help with whatever I can, and I've been hosting their children whenever, you know, when I live on 26 and I only have 4 children, so they live there with 8, I believe, the Pasquariellos. I'm 26, yes. Yeah, so my house is not that full that the Pasquariellos used to be, so I do try to, whatever, but I believe that, you know, mom and dad should have the pleasure of having their own children, not having to scramble for them. And in addition, if the house gets full, like, who do you choose? Mother and, you know, mother-in-law and father-in-law with a mother-in-law with dementia or a special needs child, and who do you say no to? Nobody wants to say no to somebody that needs it, and the family needs it. So that's as much as I can say for today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Anyone else?
My name is Joel Simanowicz. I'm a son-in-law from Abraham Samet, and we live always all the holidays. We come over to him, we party together. I'm a father of 3 kids. My wife is pregnant now, and hopefully my father-in-law will take us in, but a week or 2 when we have the next baby. That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I received a message from Joel Epstein, who is a resident at 14 Winchester Drive. He received a public notice hearing from the board, and Abraham Samet is his next door neighbor, and he wishes for the ZBA to give him an approval.
Got an email?
Yes.
Hi all, my name is Burak Tesler, living at 38 Winchester. I want to say in name of all the neighbors, every one of them living on Winchester or Cunningham, that we want to support, and we are interested that the board shall consider Abraham's request, because we all have, we want to support our beautiful neighbor, and it will be for everyone's pleasure, everyone that he is getting an approval.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My neighbor is going strong.
Anybody else? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Sorry. Oh, I'll make the motion.
Okay. We got a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Seconded by John. All in favor? Aye. So public hearing's closed. Okay. Anything further? Anybody have any comments?
Wait, why did they create the FAR law anyway?
That is
Well-
a lengthy discussion that you'd have to ask the village board about.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you the text of it, where they tell us something about what was on their mind.
I would like that, please.
Okay, let's hear some.
I'd actually like to see that one too.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay,
Like a bill jacket, almost like in Congress.
there you go. And the highlighted bits were, I think, the issues that concerned them. So I think it was preserving a character, having a diverse housing stock, and
That's kind of what I thought.
environmental concerns.
Keep the neighborhood, to discourage these larger houses
And to keep them residential.
and to keep them
Because
residential.
a lot of times they turn into something.
Right.
Well, I don't know if they mentioned that.
I think that has to be in the back of their mind when they did that law. Certainly, that's something that's a concern in the village.
Thank you. Okay. Would be a pleasure.
Okay, I'll maybe start us off. I think I'm going to start kind of in reverse order. You know, we have this 5-part balancing test that I know you're familiar with because it was in the narrative that you sent to us, Mr. Samet. And you explained at the beginning of your remarks about your having bought the property with the idea of expanding when the time came. And that the law has since changed. And so you felt like this, meant that it wasn't really a self-created problem because the law changed on you after you bought the house. And I believe you. I believe that you bought it with the idea that you could expand it. The trouble, though, that I have with the assertion that it wasn't self-created is that, in a quasi-judicial setting like this, we can't, I think, rely simply on an individual's assertion and our belief in their truthfulness. We have to see that some process had begun before the law changed, right? So if you had, for example, begun work on the addition and then the law changed, I would absolutely agree with you. Then this is nothing of your doing. The law changed on you, and when you were in the middle of taking action. But I don't think I can quite treat your circumstance where you intended to expand the house the same as if you had begun expanding the house already and the law changed. So I think, in my view, the law changed, and then you went to expand the house and found that, hey, this FAR law is here and this is going to be a problem. So, I think in the way that we have to look at these things, it is self-created. The good news is almost every area variance that we get is self-created. It's almost always, this is the way it is. So I don't, it's a balancing test, and I wouldn't hold that, so heavily against you because this is always what happens, I look at, the impact on the neighborhood, and I think your remarks about this being a property that, given its characteristics, could be expanded without creating a problem for your neighbors makes a lot of sense to me. If you had neighbors to the rear who were going to be troubled by an addition that's built, close to the back of the property, or you were going to dig a foundation that was going to present a problem for them. Okay, maybe that's a problem, but you don't have any of that to worry about. You have a forest behind you. So I think there are factors about the about the character of your property that are in your favor. But I will tell you that the trouble that I have is, the test about whether or not it's substantial. To me, I just, if we look at the simple math of what the law would allow you, roughly 3,000 square feet, and what it is you'd like to have, 4,500 square feet, we're talking about 50%, variance. And that is, to my way of thinking, really, really a very substantial variance. At that point, the intention of our village government is you're basically having a fundamental, problem with what they were trying to do in this law. And I don't think it's really our job as a zoning board to engage with differences that are that, fundamental. Now, we did go through the exercise to see what other properties in your neighborhood look like, and how do they match up with their the restrictions that would have applied to them for FAR. Some of them are bigger, and yet none of them are quite so much bigger as what you'd like to do. So even when we look at it that way, your roughly 1,500 square foot overage, I'm going to call it, above what the law would allow you, is a fair bit bigger than even the cases that you've highlighted for us have, in terms of how much bigger they are than what FAR would allow. So, both from the point of view of just looking at what FAR would allow you, and then even looking at what your larger neighbors, have as compared to what FAR would allow them, this proposal looks quite large to me. And so, I think I would want to see something, a plan that didn't ask us for such a large variance. That's what it looks like to me. And I believe that what we would typically consider for a FAR variance might be, if somebody's plan was well crafted, it really suited their needs, and they were a little bit over what the law would allow them. But here, you're just well past what the law would allow you, and I can't quite see my way to 50% in excess of what the law would allow you, or 50% beyond what your largest neighbor has that's above FAR. So I understand the position that you're in, and I don't like it any more than you do. I understand that your home is the center of activity for your family, and your family's needs have changed, and you mean to take care of it, and I applaud that. And I don't really want to say no. I guess what I want is, I wonder if you could come back to us with a plan that wasn't quite so far in excess of what the law would permit you. And even that, I must tell you, is beyond what I would ordinarily consider you granting for a FAR case, but I think you have I weigh in your favor the fact that your property abuts this forest, and it really doesn't look like, and I know you're building back and you're not building out, so I think that there's a case to be made that you're not going to be troubling any of your neighbors, and all of the testimony we've heard is that no one, is troubled by it. So that's why I might consider a plan that went beyond what FAR would prevent you. I might consider a variance in such a case where normally I wouldn't, but this plan, I'm afraid, just looks too big to me. So I just leave my remarks there, I guess.
Elizabeth, any comments?
No, I agree with what you just said, and part of the issue for us as a board is when we grant a variance, we set a precedent. And so we would be setting a precedent for other people in the neighborhood to also go over by up to 50%. And it would be hard to justify saying no to them.
Well, it would, and
sort of defeats the purpose of this law.
And the law seems to be partly directed towards the idea of establishing a diverse housing stock. And so if the housing stock were to grow too much at the upper end of the distribution, then the intent of our village, government is, with this law is not adhered to. So I think that's one rationale for being mindful of the substantiality issue.
Jim?
Yeah, I mean, both of my colleagues have summed up a lot of what, we think. I mean, Mr. Salmon, you're to use a term, you're a mensch. There's no question about it. I asked you a question and you honestly looked me in the eye and answered that. That goes a long way, from the world that I grew up in. But the problem, like my board members have said, is I'm willing to go with you on it as long as you go to the level of the biggest one on that street. We can't have a twin tower built. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if you come in with a plan like John said at 26, like the 26 Winchester, the Pascarella, you come home with come to us with a plan of square footage in that parameter. Then we can have a very open conversation about it. But as it sits now, it's too big.
So I would ask if I need to make just one story. It's just a bottom story, 900 square foot, that comes out to approximately what 26 Winchester has. Right. Can you, I'll make the plans.
Well, yeah, you got to draw it up.
So we're gonna have to come back next month for that. What I'm asking is, if we agree that I only gonna do the one story, can we vote on that now and not have to come back next month? That will be very helpful, so I can go on. I've been waiting for a long time, so I'm saying here, I'm ready to compromise and make just one story, which is approximately 900 square foot, which 300 from that is allowed anyway, so I'm asking like 500 square foot variance or so. So let's vote on that, so we don't have to come back. It's another 4 weeks, I've been waiting for so long. And my mother-in-law already lives with me. I have that hardship every single day. So,
the chairman.
Yes, I'm just.
No, I understand. Listen, I was going to say I understand what John said. First of all, I don't think your hardship is self-created at all, because you didn't buy the house with knowledge that there was a restriction on it. So, it is significant, but when you look at the totality of the circumstances and the setbacks that he has, and the fact that it's not going to impact the character of the community or creating detriment to any of the neighbors, I don't have such a big problem. We're not talking about a massive scale house. It's sort of like my position when we looked at the house on Still Road. across from Sacred Heart. So, my feeling is, I don't have a problem granting the variance. The only little tinge in me is creating precedent. If we give you a 50% variance and the next guy's gonna come in and he's gonna say, listen, I want a 50% variance, you gave it to Mr. Salmon. But I don't have a problem with the application as it stands. I'll deal with the precedent issue when it comes up. I don't think it's massive, I don't think it's out of scale, I don't think it's out of character with the neighborhood. So if you wanna volunteer to reduce the size to a single story, the single story would then do what to your variance? You can build, you're allowed to go 2,900 square feet. If you did a single story of about, what, 945, 950 square feet, then you'd be at 26, 27, you'd be at 33, which is only 300, 400 square feet, 300 square feet over.
Right.
I think you might be shorting yourself, but if that's what you want to do.
Like I said, if this is gonna make you guys vote in my favor, and I don't have to come back for that, then I guess I mean, of course I wanted to have the whole. I mean, this is what I intended to do, and like I explained, and if that's possible, it's great. But again, I need to go forward. It's not a I do it with no choice, basically. I am shorting myself.
All right.
But I don't want to be stuck for that for not another 4 weeks and waiting another drawing. You know what I mean?
I understand.
It's if the board changes their mind and votes for the whole thing, great. I mean, but if not, then I have no choice, and I'll compromise.
Okay. Kelly, I assume if the rest of the board is in agreement that if he reduces one story, you'd feel more comfortable about granting a variance?
Can we do a vote on the first one and then the second, or not? Do we have to choose one or the other to vote on?
No, you can certainly do that. The other thing is, just want to make sure is it going to be the same width and you're reducing the story, or are you taking the story off and it's getting wider to increase to whatever?
I think he's indicated he'll just do the one story, which would be about 35 by 27, which comes out to about 945 square feet.
Okay.
He wants to get technical?
No, I'll have the math done. I'm going to do math. I'm trying not to drink my water.
So I gather as the application is proposed, the majority of the board is not in favor of granting it because it's too significant.
That's correct.
So the question then becomes, would you be willing to grant, because we have that option as a board, we can grant less than the requested relief. And since Mr. Samet's willing to agree to just go with the one story because he wants to proceed, would the board be okay with that? Elizabeth, you're okay? Jim? John?
I guess ideally I'd want to see some kind of plan for just what Mr. Samet wanted to do, but I guess
it would be this plan.
right.
You would just do your basement plan,
Just
right?
the basement, right?
So then these elevations would be cut in half.
Right. And so the basement square footage is what? I know we have it somewhere.
It's 35 by 27. It's roughly.
Well,
900.
it's even on his 945.
That's
Okay.
rough, yeah.
Right.
His addition is 18.
951, Jim? Okay.
Well, he's saying his addition is 1838. If you cut it in half, it's then it's 9.
Yeah, I mean, if you're right there, 950.
Right, I mean, we don't have to do the math, we know what we're talking about, right?
I'll have the math done.
We're talking about a single story, 27 by 2 by 35.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that looks like about 588, roughly 600 square feet over.
Right, and it's still small, it's still less than some of the other houses.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Where does that end up?
It's less, I mean, 26 Winchester is 3,800 square feet.
Yeah.
15 Winchester is 4,000 square feet.
Yeah,
38 Winchester is
3,200.
3,500 square feet.
Well, the thing
and
about
he's going to be at about 3,300.
3,200, it looks like.
Well, 900 plus his existing 26.
Right,
34.
because he's got the 363 that
About
he's permitted.
34.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's way under
Well, of course, the
square
thing,
footages of
yeah,
these other non-conforming
of course, the
homes.
thing of those is that's what the village government is looking at and saying that's a problem.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
Exactly, they're trying to avoid that.
they're wanting to restrain.
No, I understand, but they're existing,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, but one could make the argument that
They're trying to curb that.
yeah,
They don't-
they're
they don't
trying
want
to curb
continue.
that, and here we have a house that's going to be essentially the equivalent of the thing that concerns
They're
them.
definitely trying to curb it, but Mr. Shamit bought that house long before that law was adjusted.
Yeah, and I recognize that, and I count that in favor of the proposal, along with the fact of there being no neighbors to the rear.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we grant the variance to allow a single-story extension up to 27 feet 2 inches by 35 feet, which comes to roughly, we talked about the numbers, 945 square feet addition, which will exceed the FAR by maybe about 400 square feet.
Yeah, I'll put the math in too, whatever.
All right, that would be my motion. I don't think it's gonna have any impact on the character of the community. I don't think it's gonna be detrimental. It's a compromise. It's not as significant as a 50% variance, and it's in line with the other non-conforming homes. That's my motion. So I have a second. Second from Elizabeth. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. 4-0.
Hope that relieves the pressure, Mr. Samet. Yeah, enjoy your meal.
Hydrate.
Enjoy the meal.
I couldn't take a drink after you said that. I was like, no way. No.
You
I don't want to torture you, but
you did awfully well for people who haven't eaten.
Tisha B'Av? I think that's what it's called.
I could try and
The
pronounce
holiday.
it.
What is it in observance
It's
of?
the destruction of the second and third temple.
Oh, wow.
In ancient times by the
Whoever it was this time.
whatever.
Wow.
So bad, I was like,
They were all fully on their,
Okay.
they did all right for people who hadn't eaten for 24 hours.
Yeah, it was such a quiet day in my office. It was unbelievable. But
knock on wood, don't stay quiet. You know what'll happen tomorrow.
Right.
well, tomorrow the holiday's over.
But is there a karmic penalty for that?
Okay. So you'll write that up, right?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So it's approved. All right, approved for
I think that was a fair
one
decision.
story.
I find these a real struggle. I'll say
Board
that.
is a struggle, to be honest. 'cause
Maybe
it's
so.
like,
All right, let's go on to the next item on the agenda. which is the approval of the minutes of June 11th, 2024. I looked at them, I did send comments to Claire, and I know she's revised them and incorporated my comments. Anybody else have any further comments?
I had some items. I've given a marked up copy to Claire, which she's gonna,
Anything
incorporate.
substantial or anything of substance?
No.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of June 11th, 2024 with the modifications proposed by John and given to Claire.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so that's approved with John modifications. What we didn't have on the agenda, and I think you all got it, was the approval of the decision from Monroe Woodbury Islamic Center. I forgot to put that on there.
Yep.
And I know Kelly circulated the written decision. Did everybody have a chance to review it?
I read it.
Any comments?
No concerns.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion that we approve the written decision of Monroe Woodbury Islamic Center.
I'll second it.
Second by Elizabeth. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that's done. Where is that decision? Do you have it here? I'll sign it.
I can send it to you to DocuSign.
Send it to me
Yeah.
with the DocuSign? Okay, that worked out really good. Okay, approved? Okay. Next item, new business. Although we have no new applications, we had an application for 123, 125 Elm Street.
Right.
Yes.
That did not get on the agenda tonight because they never submitted the certificate of resolution authorizing whoever to sign the application on behalf of the limited liability company. We've been asking it to them since the week after they submitted the application.
Yes, they submitted it to me Monday, yesterday.
So since we didn't have it by the time it had to be advertised,
I wondered about
I
that.
didn't keep it on the agenda because they didn't give it to us.
I did let the planning board attorney know that this does have to complete seeker, and they should be doing a coordinated review, so similar as we did with the Islamic Center. I informed the applicant's representative that they should write a letter to the planning board requesting to be back on their agenda to start seeker. But
Okay.
I've got
Good.
Liz and I've got Lipa and then Mike Morganti, so I'm trying to get them all to just
Right.
get it done.
Yeah, I raised that because like we
Yeah.
did with the Monroe Woodbury Islamic Center, that they should be looking at the environmental impacts of not only with the site plan issues, but any variance issues as well. So I think we should throw it back to them, let them do their environmental review, and when and if they issue a negative declaration, then we're free to.
You did that with the Islamic, that's exactly what he's.
Yeah. So with that, they may not be on the agenda next month. We'll find out, but we'll be in touch, and if they.
It'll probably end up kicking it for,
Couple months, right?
yeah, at least 2 because of the circulation would have to come to you. That's 30 days right there.
Yeah,
And then I don't know how they handled their seeker process.
right. So it probably won't be on then for a couple months. Okay.
Yes, I just got that last week. I have to review it still. I still need payment from him. Technically, he's not within the due date for the 10th, but
What is that? You got a new application in?
yeah, last week. I need to receive payment from them. I have the details here.
Oh, so an application without payment is no application.
Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Yes, that's where it's not. I have it, but I don't
All right.
have the payment.
So he hasn't made the deadline, so he's not gonna be on next month.
No.
Okay.
He kept calling me and I kept telling him what to do, so I just did not work. At what point?
Yes.
Is that 10 Clinton property that?
No, 4 Norwich Lane?
For what?
Norwich?
Norwich?
Norwich.
All right, but they're not gonna be on next month.
Mm-hmm.
And 123, 125 Elm Street is not gonna be on next month.
No.
So we have no meetings for next month, no applications. Okay.
Right.
So I suggest we cancel next month's meeting.
Yeah.
Sense coming in
I
just to approve, right?
guess there's no chance of anything coming in, so.
Yeah, okay. So, all right, so I'll move that we cancel the meeting for September 12th. And our next meeting will be on October 15th. Second?
Okay, wow.
We have a second?
Second.
Seconded by John, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So meeting for 9, I said 12, I think it's 10,
Okay, it's
right?
10.
It's almost Halloween.
Isn't that crazy?
Cancel.
To think our next meeting will be in October?
We'll have to wear costumes.
Oh, and they've got the stuff out in Home Depot already.
It's summer.
Yeah,
Enjoy summer.
At least put out like back to school.
right.
Back to school I can
Jack-o'-lantern.
handle, yes, but Halloween,
Yeah.
Because you guys aren't going back to school.
But I still like looking at it. I'm like, oh, look at all the markers, the backpacks. Like I'm gonna wear a
right.
door.
oh, isn't that funny? I did
Anything
the
else?
Same thing, I was looking.
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, I move that we adjourn.
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, showing we're adjourned at 9:17 PM.
That woke us up.
There's not much of it left.